Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Three places that you can stay for absolutely free. 3 of them. You ain't got to pay a doggone thing. Hear me. Understand that you can stay out my face for free. You can stay out my business for free. And you can stay out my way for free. Those things won't cost you a doggone thing. 3 places you can stay for absolutely free. Thank you.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Sorry, I was running out of coffee as we were going live. It's a problem I'm having this morning, so I apologize. Just bear with me. I hope everyone is doing very, very well. Nice to see Holly Vision bright and early this morning. Nice to see him. I always miss him because I'm usually asleep unless I wake up in the middle of the night. And then if I wake up in the middle of the night, I always check my emails. You know, if I'm up, I might as well, you know, walk and chew gum, right? So I always check the emails. I check to see who's live, if there's anything interesting going on. So usually it's in the middle of the night when I'm waking up that I get to catch him. But this morning I actually caught him. So it was really actually nice, and nice to hear some people's perspectives on his channel. I did reach out. I keep forgetting Idaho is 3 hours behind Florida. So this morning at like 8 o'clock in the morning, I called down there. You know, I'm ready to order the records, get those items, you know, sent to us. And I get this maybe you guys should just listen. So anyways, apparently it's too early. The police department doesn't open until 8 a.m. I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, it's 8 a.m. And it dawned on me, wait a minute, I'm in Florida. So it's like 5 a.m. over there. So I got to wait just a little bit, but we're going to be ordering the records. We've raised the money. I'm going to, again, just order the records and see what all that stuff goes, you know, what all it is. And let me just go over what we've actually requested. We've requested the 3:01 a.m. incident at Banfield. We asked for like everything, not just the body cam footage for that. All calls to King Road, the 1122 King Road. All records of calls for reasons, times from 2010 to 2022. Records of all police call reasons and times for the Kai for G House, listed that from 2015 to 2022. Your request includes recordings, audios, photographs, everything like that. And they're saying that everything will cost, with pay included, they gave me the estimate of $385.80. So we haven't quite raised all of the money yet, but we've came close enough that I can manage the rest. So if you guys, you know, still want to make a small donation, you're more than welcome to, but it's not necessary at this point. We raised enough money to get the records. So as soon as their office opens, I will be ordering those today. But this should give us a lot of insight about the comings and goings of King Road. This will give us good insight about the comings and goings of the Sigma Chi fraternity. So I'm hoping that this will at least provide us a little semblance of information, some real legit information. You know, obviously it's not going to be anything related specifically to the case, as you know, they're not going to release anything related to that. But at least it'll give us some insight on what has transpired on those grounds in and around, at least prior to this entire scenario, up to the date that I made the request, you know, with the exclusion. Thank you, Rick's Clicks. It's nice to see you in here, love. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, and hope everything's going well for you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, you know, we have, again, you know, raised the money. We'll get those. And as soon as I get those, I will release. We will go live. As soon as they are in my possession, we will be going live and going through everything. We will all see it together for the first time together. And I don't know how long the live will be, depending on how much stuff we have, but we're going to go through it all together. So I won't be previewing it prior to it. As soon as it's in the emails, we're going to be going live. That's how it's going to be. So. Oh, Jada, nice. I'm glad you finally caught me live. Well, it's nice to see you. Nice to see you. But also, while we were watching Dolly's channel, there is a lot of misconceptions. So I love Jennifer Coffendoffer. I think she's a great resource to have when you're trying to figure out, you know, things on in a case. Oh, good. Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. God bless you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But, you know, with the whole dog thing, you know, there's the misconception of what transpired. And I think the problem is Jennifer Coffindoffer was going off, like many of us were, posts and other social media, information to determine. And there was a lot of stuff, misinformation that was coming out of these boards and chat rooms, kind of like that 4chan you're hearing about. There's also another one called Reddit, I'm sure you guys know about as well. And there was a lot of information that was coming out of those channels. And I think Jennifer may have gotten some of that information and went with it early on in the case before it was addressed by law enforcement. Well, many people, when they're doing the research, forgets that law enforcement has addressed the issue with the dog. Not that it's a huge deal. It's just when I start hearing people misinformed, I heard if they're misinformed, maybe some other people also may be equally misinformed or forgot that there was a press release released from law enforcement. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up now. And it's from December 5th. And this press release from December 5th addresses the dog, the incident with the dog. Let me find it. Here it is. There were numerous requests right here. So I just want everybody, this is from the actual press release for law enforcement, okay? And this is where we should be, I don't mind speculation, but this is where we should be getting our facts that we're speculating on, right? We still have to have a foundation of fact to speculate properly. And so this is where we come to get information is from the Moscow Police Department. And they're saying that there have been numerous requests about the dog found at the residence on the morning of November 13th. Arriving officers entered the residence and found the deceased victims. During search of the home, a dog was found in a room where the crime had not been committed. Officers did not find evidence on the dog, and there was no indication the animal had entered the crime scene. The dog was taken to animal services and released to a responsible person. While the dog was in the house when officers arrived, it has not been determined where the dog was physically located when the murders took place. At this time, no suspects have been identified, yada, yada, yada. So there you guys have it. I just want to make sure that all the factual information is out there. I don't want people, forgetting that, some of these things, you got to look at the time, the dates of some of these posts in conjunction with what was released from law enforcement. So it's not that Jennifer Coffindoffer, in my opinion, was purposefully sending out misinformation, but JLR posted the car was found. Hold on, let me get back here. So I'm not I sometimes forget that I have this up. So let me go over here to JLR. Just posted that the car has been found. He posted 16 hours ago that there was the car was spotted at an Exxon station. Where is he posting this? Posted car was found. Is he live right now? I don't see him live. Where is he posting this? I went to his community channel. I don't see it posted in his community channel. And I'm on his Facebook, and the last place he's eating is at a steakhouse. So I don't know. Where's JLR posting that? I'm not seeing it. He just posted car was found. JLR on YouTube just got a notification. Which channel? His Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates? Okay. Videos. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm not seeing it. White Honda Elantra found. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. Investigates. I'm on his investigates. He live. It's not live. And I'm looking at his videos, and the last one was 9 hours ago about Sigma Chi. Hold on, let me go to the back side of this. Just a second, change it to live chat. Let me see this. It says, oops, something went wrong. So it's not, B Betty fan, that's not showing me anything. I repeat, someone in chat trying to get your attention. I don't know, I've seen the post. Well, I'm looking at that post. A B Betty fan posted a link in here, and I'm trying to get to it, but it's saying that something went wrong. I guess he must have pulled it back. If you got a notification from him, he must not have been meaning to release it. That's my my opinion. I just watched it. How can I send it to you? Send it to me at, I just searched me, it came right up. Huh. Okay, well then send to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Send the link to bullhornbetty@gmail.com because I'm not finding it. Unless it's on another channels. These are different channels. I just searched. All right, let me just search Jonathan Lee Riches. Come out for me. Oh, it's under his AKA JLR. Okay, let's see what he has to say. Can you guys hear that or no? It is. Okay, I see it. He posted it on a different channel. So you guys can't hear that? All right, let me pull it up on my phone. Let me pull it up on my phone and see if you guys can hear it better there. Yeah, I can't.
Jonathan Lee.
I bet hold on. I bet you I can. I got to do that weird. I keep forgetting. Stop screen. Hold on. Wrong tab. Okay. There we go. There we go.
Hyundai Elantra. We're talking about that white Elantra 2011, 2013 model that authorities are looking for in relation to the Moscow, Idaho stabbings. 4 college students brutally stabbed during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, inside a home. Police haven't made no arrests. They haven't publicly identified any suspects. They haven't even found the murder weapon. They're looking for this white Hyundai Elantra that they say was around the scene of the house. They're looking for the occupant or occupants. I want to show you a video right now of a white, it looks like a white Hyundai Elantra right by the home. And we will discuss this. So that clearly looks like a white Hyundai Elantra. It is within eyesight of the home where the stabbings occurred. Now, right there, that is like 1119.
Let's see if he's got. Let's see what else he's got here.
Of Taylor and King just sold on November 16th, 2022, a few days after the stabbings. And if you look at the pictures of the home, you can see picture number 23 of 25 in the backyard there in the distance. You can see a white vehicle that does look like a white Hyundai Elantra. These homes here would most likely be on King Road. There, in back of the home there's a couple homes there that make up a couple homes on King Road, but you can see there the white Hyundai Elantra. And this home here sold a couple days after the murder. 733 West Taylor Avenue.
I think he meant closed.
So in the
home
picture on the home description in the back, you can see a white, looks like a white Hyundai Elantra.
Oh, sorry.
And again, where that is 1119 and 1127 King Street.
127
There it
King
is.
Road.
So
right
there's the
here.
girl's house up there.
And
Right there.
it's a direct eye shot to the home.
So the home is right there within eyesight. That car looks like car that the same car possibly on that surveillance that was just released from the Exxon station on Highway 8. You know, whoever lived at that house, whoever
All
lived
right.
at that
Well, if
house,
you guys want to watch, you guys
is
can
it
watch
a
it
college
on
student there?
Jonathan's page. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, if you guys want to go watch his. Sorry, while it's doing that, want to go watch his page, go ahead and go over there, and you guys can inform yourself on that. So we went through the misconceptions about the dog. There was some coroner stuff. You know, we watched some of the stuff yesterday about what the coroner said, but I saw there was another that was from November 17th, and this one was from, it says 3 weeks ago. It doesn't really state. Hold on a second. Let me see if it says the date, the 15th. So this will actually be more recent. We watched the one from the KREM, and this one today. So let me see about this one. Give me a second. Let me I gotta play this game with this computer. It's driving me nuts. Okay. Here we go. While it loads. Probably gonna have a commercial.
Something under somebody's fingernails.
The coroner saying the or may have gotten the suspect's DNA on their bodies. Idaho. Students in Moscow, Idaho.
It's pretty traumatic when there's 4 dead college students in who have been stabbed to death in one location.
The coroner saying today autopsies have been completed and the victims suffered extensive wounds after being stabbed multiple times with a large knife. Investigators now working to determine if the victims had defensive wounds or may have gotten the suspect's DNA on their body.
We know now that they had defensive wounds, and we have also heard from reliable sources, i.e. Nancy Grace, that there is DNA that did not match. So those are huge clues that there was DNA at least left behind.
Well, looking to see if there are some clues that are on them. So some of the suspects' blood, perhaps, or something under somebody's fingernails.
The coroner saying the autopsies have found the time of death sometime after 2 a.m.
Cool. Thank you.
Investigators now.
I don't know if that has clarified since then, because she said sometime after 2 a.m. and maybe the autopsies came back and closed that gap to 3 to 4 a.m. Not sure.
reviewing this video, which they say shows two of the victims at a food truck just hours before the murder. Police also confirmed two other roommates were home and unhurt at the time of the murder and are actively cooperating with the investigation.
We're not just focusing just on them, we're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence.
So there are even other people that have not been mentioned because, again, they've been here for some time and they're looking at all the people that were coming and going from that residence.
Authorities say there was no sign of forced entry at the home. They think this was a targeted attack and are still searching for the murder weapon.
And they are still searching for the murder weapon at this time. So, you know, it just doesn't seem like a whole lot has changed related to that. And of course, you know, we are getting conflicting information and messages because law enforcement is not addressing some much needed items, you know, that I don't see if it really would affect the integrity of the investigation. Maybe it would, perhaps, you know, related to whether or not the front door was open. You know, we heard from Fox News that there was, I believe it was Fox News, is it? Yeah, that the student's neighbor says the front door was left open. And do they have, and I don't believe that this was the harsh guy. I don't think he was the one that said that they saw the door open at that early morning hour. I think it was another witness. So the only thing I can think of is one, the door was actually open, or two, it was a different day than what they had originally thought. You know, we are also hearing about a new person coming up in the topic of conversation, a David Berriocha and a David Loach. They're coming up in a lot of 4chan conversations. And one of the folks, hold on, let me get there. Is this the 5th? Okay, we already discussed that. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. So one of the people made a statement basically stating that he has no involvement, that, you know, they should be reserving this kind of criticism until after there's more evidence, more information out. He was part of the fraternity, the Chi fraternity. And people are saying that he had a problem. And I'm a day late and $1 short to the party. In the grand scheme of things, I am. Do I still have this on? Yes, I do still have this. Hold on. I got to remove this one and then add the new screen to the, like I said, this is becoming a real pain in the butt. I may have to change services because of this if I can't get it to start working again. But here it is. And it's protected. His tweets are now protected. Like, he's shut his entire Twitter account off, except to the people that he was already prior friends with. The people, the 116 people or 460 people that are following, he shut this off. And his account says, account full of shit I'll get canceled for in 20 years, is what his comments are. And so whenever you start going and looking up his name specifically, because I know I can't get in his account, I can't see anything on his account. You know, a lot of people have already tagged him and flagged him and been over there. And, you know, he got so much that it was just too much for him. And he ends up, you know, shutting his account down. And so here it is. And I mean, it kind of looks like him, the eyes and the lips. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why this is relevant, because it's on somebody's page. I can't, like, if everybody had ski masks on and is now a suspect in a crime, like, this is how ludicrous some of these things get with folks and rabbit holes and all this other stuff. And it just states on TikTok, the police haven't even talked to him yet. And this was back, I don't know how long ago this was posted, 10 hours ago, but I don't know when the actual screenshot of this happened. Going to leave this, I'm just going to leave this here. And this looks like it's a screenshot from the 4chan system. And it says, bruh, you can see King Road from David SX room. So they're saying that he can literally be watching that house from his room. Once the 3rd floor light turned off, they did 19 minutes total, included, talked about this shit at Bishop Kelly and the SX. Loach and E got into a fight night. X allegedly talking shit. L had probs with Mads. Also, so here's the whole the clip that's being spread around YouTube. Does this have any relevance to it? I don't know whether it does or not. I really don't. I don't know where he came from other than people throwing his name out there on these channels. And here's another one from, so a lot of these 4chan chats had been clipped and are being looked at. And this is saying your Catholic homeboy David, and it's saying his name, playing white, super lame, and is the alibi for his boy/friend, David Loach. Loach killed all of them while Roach stood by in the area. Lacrosse and wrestling for Loach with his K-bar. That knife is in Garden City, planned and talked about it at school at Bishop Kelly. Absolute blank, 20 years, check whatever's Twitter. C is what he is, not funny. So I, again, don't know where these are coming from, but again, on 4chan, you can be anonymous with your postings. So these things that so you can see, it says anonymous. So they give you like almost an ID when you're going through it. So again, there's a lot of stuff that's being clipped and put out, and it's really targeting this David Loach and David Barriocha, if I'm saying the name right. Some of the posts were hashtagged Vandal Strong on Twitter. And so, it makes me wonder, is this a beef? I mean, this does sound like something that meets the profile that I, been coming up with. They need to offer a reward, Nikki states. Yes, I agree. We got almost 900 people watching in this chat room. Please consider going out and giving this a thumbs up. Again, it's free to say thank you. We work off ups around here. So if you guys aren't thumbing up, please do so. It keeps us kicking on the streets of YouTube. I feel like they are just there. Hold on, what does it say? Michelle's saying something. Hold on here. I want to read this. I feel like they are just to announce the suspects without any warning. Maybe we will be surprised by the suspect, maybe not. I do like it's coming. I do too. And with these new names, it's giving me a little bit of hope, because the other people that were being brought up, just honestly, I can't explain it. They just didn't have anything to do with the crime, in my opinion. They just didn't. And it was getting kind of hard, keep going back over the same people over and over and over again. And when we were talking about who, like, I don't know who this person is by name. I don't know who this person by, physical description. I can only describe who I think this is. And Olivia and I have talked about it. She's put my description up on her channel, Chronicles of Olivia. If you guys have not watched that, go over there and watch it. But it's my theory on who this person is. And I have always said, I believe this is somebody that they know. I believe this is somebody that's in their circle, but not their close, immediate circle. It's somebody in the kind of peripheral part of the circle. And I believe that this is a very angry person, that this person was humiliated or something to that effect. I believe that this was a more line with power. Let me show you what I will do type of thing. Since you did this to me, look at the over you type of mentality. And I believe that this person was a college-aged kid, 20-something. Which differed from a lot of my counterparts and a lot of my audience, but that is what I truly believe we're going to end up finding out. And I lastly stated in that interview with Olivia, when we find out who it is, it's probably going to surprise all of us. It's probably going to surprise all of us because it's somebody that we weren't even thinking about. And now that we have some new names coming up, maybe we will be able to at least name somebody that it could potentially be and find out that it, I'm unsure. I'm unsure. How many likes do we have? We have 337 likes with 876 people, 340 likes now. Thank you guys. Don't forget to go out there and like this segment. We're going to be rolling through here quite a bit, and I'm just going to open up the chat here in the near future. And I've got a lot of work today that I need to get done, period. But I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about the two other University of Idaho students that lost their life. My understanding that they lost their life due to their own selves. So they unalived themselves. I could be wrong about Hudson, but definitely is my understanding that Hannah, the roommate or neighbor to Maddie, had unalived herself. Many people stated that it had to do with bullying. From my understanding, Hannah's father has come out in Maddie's defense and stated that it had nothing to do with Maddie. So I just want to put those rumors to rest as somebody that, maybe we were looking at this as a potential vengeance type of situation. It doesn't appear to be that way. It appears that Hannah's father, again, has come out and basically said that Maddie and her had nothing to do with his daughter's untimely death. So again, that has to be very hard for that to have to relive the event of losing his daughter again because of social media. And it is very hard because I understand that people really want to know what's going on in this case, but at what point? I mean, we need to have a targeted approach, not just this broad band net that we just antagonize people until they bring us a statement. That's not the approach anybody should have, especially with a victim's family. I mean, I can understand if you want to be a little more forceful with, suspects and persons of interest, but to constantly be hearing about this and seeing it being done to victims' family is pretty appalling to me. I just want to throw that out there. Betty, you seem sad, upset today. I hope you're okay. Sending all the love your way, hon. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. No, just like I said, it's the time of the year. I stay pretty exhausted this time of the year. And no, I'm just a lot. It's a lot of information. It's stuff coming that keeps constantly coming back and forth and stuff like that. And it's just, it's almost like we keep going, when there's nothing going on in the news, they start circling back to old news. And we always have to constantly be correcting the old news, the news before we had some facts, either debunking it or making it more relevant. And the dog, when I heard the thing about the dog, I'm like, no, the dog was not running outside of the house. And they're, oh, well, Jennifer Coffendorfer said it. And so I had to go back and look. And it appears that when Jennifer stated that, she stated that based upon something that she had already read somewhere else. And it was prior to the statement from law enforcement reiterating where the dog was and what happened with the dog and the fact that the dog was alive. Many people at this time thought this dog had been killed right along with them and were pleasantly surprised that this dog not only was injured, but doesn't even appear to have been a witness to the actual crime itself. So, what room was this dog in is a question. How did this dog get put in that room is another question that we could definitely have. Did Kaylee throw Murphy in her room, even though there was no bed in there, just because he was familiar with that room and just shut the door? Or could the killer have seen the dog, known the dog, and put the dog away before they started? I don't know. That has not been clarified. And according to the statement of December 5th, I'm not sure if law enforcement even knows the answer to that question. If they do, they haven't told us one way or the other. But thank you for brightening up my day, Miss Lee. Let's see what Tiffany says. She says, BHB, my theory, Xana and Maddie were the targets. They both worked at the same restaurant and were in the same sorority. Ethan and Kaylee technically weren't supposed to be there, right? Yeah, and that's what I said from the beginning. It is my understanding, based upon an interview that Kaylee's mother had provided early on in this case, that she was just there to show off her new car, her new ride to her BFF, and to stay the night and to go out and hang out. Excuse me, because they were going to be, Kaylee was going to be going to Texas in the near future. She had scored that awesome job. So I'm sure she was going to, at least want as much time as humanly possible with her best friend. So you're right. And we thought Ethan lived there when we started hearing the story, and that had to be corrected, as he didn't live there. He was only staying that night. And I don't know how often he frequented the home and stayed there at night. But at least at this particular night, he was there, and it's my understanding that's not where he normally resides. So now I would think that they would say, if he was there often, that he stayed the night as he did frequently, or something to that effect. And that would indicate that, people would have expected him to be there, but who knows? I surely don't. Let me see what else we've got here. So we went over Baroche. Oh, I know what we wanted to go over now. Okay, and then we'll open up the panel. I got one more little tidbit of information, and then we'll open it up. And so for those that want to come up here, here's the rules to come up on panel. I'm going to show my face. I'm not going to actually bring you guys forward on the panel. But you will, once I accept you, I will have to do a thing to keep you off. But you need to show me your face behind the chat, and you need to turn me down in the background, because it feeds through and it causes a lot of audio issues for the audience as well as myself. You don't really, because it's on your side, but when we're talking and hearing the feedback, it's very noticeable on our end. So show your face. You can turn your camera off after you get a thumbs up or I call you by name. I won't be showing you on screen, and we're just to keep things very peaceful. There's not going to be a whole lot of criticism. You can, hypothesize, speculate, theorize. It doesn't have to parrot anybody's. You're allowed to have your own individual thoughts and opinions here, whether people agree with them or not. And we just all are to be respectful. So those are the rules to get on panel. If you guys can follow them, please be my guest and come up here and speak your theories. But for right now, we're going to get to this, and then we're going to play a video. And this is the newest update that we have as of the 13th. And it just basically says 1 month after the murders took place, investigators continue to piece together what happened in the hours leading up to the crime in order to determine who is responsible. While asking the public to stay focused on official facts released by the Moscow Police Department over the past 4 weeks, rumors and speculation has led many members of the public to provide tips based on rumors rather than official information provided about the case. And we did discuss this yesterday at our live. Maybe I'll clip that segment out and throw it up as a video so people understand. Please, please do not be calling in tips. If you were not there, you have no contact with a person that was there or in the area or that has firsthand knowledge of the facts, you do not have a lead that needs to be called in to the FBI or Moscow Police Department. Speculation, it's unnecessary. Trust me, at this stage in the game, with that many heads in the boardroom, I guarantee every possible speculative avenue has been thought about and is either being actively worked or debunked. So we don't need speculation going into their tip lines. That's designated for tips. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody in here. I know everybody here is just trying to help. But if you are engaging in this kind of contact, please stop. Please disengage. Public is reminded that tips will be provided to the Moscow Homicide Tip Line, which is now routed to the National FBI line to best gather, prioritize, and distribute valuable tips to investigators. Callers need to call 208-883-7180 and not send tips to the Moscow Police Department. The FBI line is also takes calls regarding to other reports, so please be patient during the call. After dialing 208-883-7180, callers will hear some initial recorded messages. After that, the process of being transferred to the operator begins. There are 2 prompts. The first prompt, press 1 for tips currently highlighted in the news. For the second prompt, press 4 to provide information about Moscow, Idaho homicides. Please be sure to make your to an operator. Your tip may be a piece of information that solves this crime. So they are still actively looking for the assailant and tips. They, even with all these overwhelming amount of tips, they're still saying, please, if you have anything, videos, photos, knowledge of persons in and around the area at the time of this crime, please call in and speak to somebody. You don't know how little nugget of information can break a case wide open. And it is true. If you've watched true crime as long as I've watched true crime, you know that sometimes it's the most meaningless piece of information that virtually makes no sense by itself, but when you plug it in to the case, it was the key that opened the box. And they're still hoping for that key that opens the box. And lastly, before we open the panel, I wanted you guys to hear from Captain Lanier. He is the one with literally all of the information about this case. He is the go-to guy. He is the one under the police chief, and he is the man with the plan. So I want to bring him up here and watch his last. And guys, the Moscow Police Department never had a YouTube page. They have just born this YouTube page, I think, since December. They only have just a handful of videos on here from 5 days ago. 7 days ago, rather. So the 6th of December. They never had a YouTube page prior to the 6th of December. Now they have a YouTube page, and I think it's very well welcomed. Again, a great place for, people on social media as opposed to mainstream media can get factual information about this case. I think it was a great idea. And we have something of factual nature to play for our audience. Again, I think that was a great thought process, whoever came up with this strategy. Definitely well taken. There we go. Let's see what he has to say.
What happened? How did you react? What were your first steps as an investigator?
Yeah, well, it was hard. I got called at home. It was on a Sunday afternoon, and it took me a second. I really had to think about what I had just heard. 4 murders in Moscow, Idaho is so out of character. And at the time, they were fairly certain it was college students, and it was near the campus, and that area is kind of a campus community. So once I got over the initial shock, I knew that I was coming to the station. So I drove in, and everybody just kind of fell into a role. That was a all hands on deck moment Sunday afternoon. It became fairly apparent when I got to the scene that we were going to need resources outside of just what the Moscow Police Department could provide. And we have a very, very good working relationship with the Idaho State Police. We knew what their capabilities were, and so that was the first call that we made to have their investigative team come up and help us process the scene. The scene wasn't chaos, the neighborhood, but it was very, very somber. Like I said, that is a community of college students that live over there. Many of them, through word of mouth, knew what had happened. They were standing outside. There was a lot of crying. There were friends trying to find out who exactly was inside the house. Some family members that arrived on scene. It was incredibly hard for the community, but it was also really, really hard on our officers, some of whom were very young, and that was the first real major crime scene that they had encountered. So emotionally, it was a very, very draining day. But resources came, and then the first about 3 days was just an adjustment, trying to get resources in place and then get a system that worked for everybody. The FBI got involved almost immediately. And the FBI, the Idaho State Police, and the Moscow Police Department all have a little bit different way of doing things. And that's okay, but when you're working collectively, you have to put a system in place that starts information flowing and you can handle it in a logical manner. So fortunately, the FBI has some experience in those areas, and they were very, very good at helping us set up their virtual command post. And then once everything was in place, it became a very, very systematic method of processing the information that was coming in.
So they had a systematic, you guys heard, it took them about 3 days to get everything up and really rolling out related to this case, setting up resources and things of that nature. These are behind the scenes stuff that we really don't know about. And I think it really does showcase the dedication of enforcement officers to the truth related to this particular case. I think that these law enforcement officers personally have been the most transparent I've seen in a very long time. And I know it has to be as a direct result to the type of crime and where it happened, and so close to the university and it being university students. However, I do differ a little bit in who may have committed this crime and also the reasons for it. So.
Can you sum up the last month in terms of the investigation?
Yeah, a lot of emotional highs and lows, but an incredible amount of teamwork. The general public doesn't have any idea the scope of this investigation, the number of people that are involved, not just here in Moscow, but investigative and interview teams in the northern part of Idaho, the southern part of Idaho, the eastern part of Idaho, resources from the Salt Lake City FBI office, the Coeur d'Alene FBI office, analysts back in Virginia, and the number of people that have flown here or driven here from great distances to just lend their specialty to this investigation. We have the FBI's command post in our parking lot, and we've hooked them up to Wi-Fi, and everything that they would normally do down in Salt Lake City, they're doing right here in our parking lot. So the team effort has been amazing.
That is something we didn't know. So they've got a command post that's probably helping them process stuff right there on scene. We heard about this command post type of setup with Quentin Simon as well. Remember, they took the FBI facility almost out there to the landfill to help process evidence. So, the FBI is getting more stuff that can help these cases in real time on the road. This is the second case we're hearing this in. This is huge, guys. I mean, as far as FBI and their abilities to be able to provide real assistance in real time and not have to be shipping a lot of this stuff back to the labs and stuff like that, being able to handle stuff, certain stuff. I'm sure they're not going to be able to handle a whole lot, but I'm sure that they have limited capabilities in this mobile command center, which is huge. It's huge. No, that was just a video about a car that matches the description of the one that they are looking for, being in the neighborhood at one of the neighbors' homes. It appears that it could potentially be a Hyundai Elantra. Again, but we can't confirm. It's grainy photo. But there is one in the immediate area that overlooks to their property from their home. So a little creepy, definitely something sleuthy. You know, the sleuths are out doing their job and looking at all this stuff. So yeah.
Amazing. It's been overwhelming at times, but there are so many people with so much expertise. Somebody always steps up and takes the role that needs to be filled.
What role has speculation, rumors, and the conversations on social media play in the investigation?
Yeah, that has been by far the most frustrating part of this. We've always closely guarded the information that we've discovered at the scene and our investigative information because we want to protect the integrity of this investigation. And just look at
Let's
social
listen to that again.
the
Let's listen to
information that we've discovered.
Media play in the investigation.
So let's go back to her original
The
question.
conversations on social media play in the investigation.
What are the conversations on social media play in the investigation?
Yeah, that has been by far the most frustrating part of this. We've always closely guarded the information that we've discovered at the scene and our investigative information because we want to protect the integrity of this investigation. And just look at social media and the rumors that fly out there. A small piece of information that has speculation added to it just takes its own life on the internet.
And that is true. It does. But again, it's the lack of information. It's, you know, these people, they think it, they believe it. We've watched it go on. It will forever go on. And this is where they have to manage well with this new technology. You know, we didn't need 20 years at social media. 10 years ago, it wasn't like this. But here it is. And, I can imagine how frustrating it's got to be. But this is, media on steroids now that we have social media. They're not accustomed to dealing with it.
And starts rumors. And then we find ourselves not only tracking those rumors down and trying to quell them, but also we see our tips that come in are geared more toward the rumor, not the facts that have been put out. And the really unfortunate part of it is the effect that it's had on the victims' families, on the college students and friends of the victims, some of whom have had death threats. And
we talk about that. Like, that is just, if you're picking up the phone to call somebody with you've gone too far. You have literally gone too far. Nobody deserves that. There is not enough evidence that we, the public, have found out enough to pinpoint a person of interest in this case or even a suspect. Now, law enforcement has a whole different set of cards than we, the public, and the media have, okay? They may have an idea of who did this. We don't know that. And people are going out and harassing people on conjecture. That's what these whole rooms, these chat rooms, this is what this is why you guys come here, so you guys can speculate and throw your theories out in our chat rooms. We don't want this going past these rooms. You don't make action to people because you think. Now, if you're media and you're curious and you're reaching out to them in a professional capacity, that is one thing. But being a subscriber to a channel, and because one of your your creators said that XYZ may have happened doesn't mean that XYZ did happen. And again, the tip line is for those who have direct knowledge, direct information, people that they know that were there, in and around there, or anything related to the facts of the case in which you can add value to that information. Not speculative in nature, not third, fourth, fifth hand, first-hand knowledge that can help this case. If you have videos, if you have photography that can help this case in and around that area, those are the types of things that need to be going in. But Joe Blow on Joe Blow channel said that if they go look here, they're going to find the weapon. That is not a tip. That is speculative in nature. That is not beneficial to law enforcement. Okay? Unless you have photo evidence saying, hey, this is where this white car was, and we believe that this knife is somewhere here, that is not a tip that needs to be brought in unless you have those facts. Okay? I'm just trying to help you guys, because I know everybody's trying to help, but you have to understand what truly a tip and lead are. They do. Law enforcement does watch these channels. They keep up on things. If you think something, put it in here. Okay? They will see it. Go on their channel, their page, put your stuff, but don't be utilizing resources and calling in something you heard on Joe Blow channel. Just don't do it. It's not good. Okay.
Constant harassment by various media outlets. So it's been devastating in some ways. In many ways, it just re-victimizes folks who have already suffered this terrible trauma.
What is next for this investigation?
Well, this investigation is not cold. We get tips every day that are viable. We get dozens and dozens of tips. We sort through them, we prioritize them, and for sure, some of them are not good tips. They're not even relevant to the case. But every single day, we get a good amount of viable tips, and those tips help us do everything from clear people who maybe there was some speculation about, to further some of the theories that we're working on. So the next is just to continue on what we're doing, eliminate the information that we know is not going to be relevant to the investigation, and take all the new information. And eventually, and we see this coming, eventually we're going to narrow in on exactly what happened and who did it.
So it sounds like to me that they are very confident in it. That they're going to find the person that's responsible for this. Again, when I start hearing language like that coming from law enforcement, naturally, I'm going to think that they have information that we don't have, right? That they have an idea of who could have committed this crime. And I just don't think it's related to the other students that off themselves. We don't even know how good of friends they were, if they were even friends. Just because you live in the same house with somebody, other than knowing, seeing them, you don't really know them, right? But even being a neighbor to somebody, like this day and age, it's not uncommon not to really know too much about your neighbors. Yeah, do you know what they look like? Yeah. If they came in late last night, I wasn't paying attention. I think people expect people. Like, I don't pay attention to anything. I'm those people. I really don't. My ex-husband, he was one of those people that could spot something a mile, not that person. Olivia's mom is another person that can literally spot something a mile away. I remember, every time, it almost seemed like at least once a week we'd be walking, and my ex-husband would find some dollar bills rolling around on a floor somewhere because he was so observant. Me, I'm just like, I just step over money all over the place. We all do. I watched it with my own eyes. I'm like, how do people lose this much money and not even realize it? It's like $1 here, $5 there, $10 here, $20 there. And I'm just like, well, how the hell does my ex-husband just he must have the X-ray vision for money or something. But I wasn't blessed with that. Olivia's I don't know how she did it when we were out there looking in the Brian laundry case. I mean, we were looking, let me be honest, we were looking for bones. Okay. I don't know. We walked out, like her mom was finding animal stuff all over the place. And we're like, how did you find it? Like, it blends in with the ground. Like, I don't get it. Only money I find is in the laundry. Well, I can tell you, I've been doing laundry for myself for quite some time, and I don't get those magical joys in my life because I know where every dollar and every cent is in my home, and it's never in my pockets. Right? So I hope Mama Bull calls in her love. I love her. Yeah, Mama Bullhorn's been getting ready for Christmas. You know, she's got the nephew her grandson, my nephew, that she's got a visit with prior to Christmas. And then she's going to be going off to see my other sister for Christmas. And I don't know what the heck she's doing. She calls me every now and again just to tell me she loves me and she's proud of me and to say hi and make sure I'm still kicking. And she's an avid watcher. I can tell you that. She's probably Bullhorn Betty's biggest fan, like bigger than all of you. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think. Let's see. Do we have anything going here? No, it doesn't look like. Wanda wrote to say happy that Billy Joe went to jail. I know it's crazy. Haven't heard from Wanda in a little minute, so it's nice to hear from you. I think the murders happened closer to 4 a.m. to 5 for privacy. It's possible. That time is only, it's a science. You know, if you have one thing wrong in your theory, you know, because it's science, there's no, without like concrete evidence, you know, there's no way to tell the exact specific time somebody died. Only alleged times around this time because of the way everybody's body doesn't cool down or heat up the same way. So, I mean, within a few degrees, but those few degrees could be a couple hours, right? Your hair looks awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm using some new product on my hair. So thank you. Glad you noticed. I still need the roots done. I called my BFF and told her I need her neighbor to come do my hair. He's done hair before. I'm sick of doing it. I always have a little patch, and seeing how that we have something we're doing with MGL right after Christmas, I got to have my hair did. My hair needs to be did. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. It makes my day. Oh yeah, let me open the panel. Like, what am I doing here? Oh, and then somebody was asking what 4chan is. 4chan is like the best way to explain it. It's like Reddit. So here, let me just show you what it looks like. It's really like it's not something that would spark your attention by any stretch of the imagination, but that's what it looks like right there. So again, you know, it's very bland. It's very little photography in here. It's just a lot of message boards. So that's kind of really what it is. You can kind of look up different things. You can search different topics, and I find less is more when searching in 4chan. But again, it's just like a Reddit, but I like Reddit's platform. It looks a lot more clean and clear. This is kind of just I guess oh yeah, there it is. This is kind of like nah, you know. So that's 4chan right there. And again, you know, a little bit different of appeal than Reddit, but kind of the same aspect. But in 4chan, you can post anonymous. See how all these people are posting anonymous? They're posting anonymous information. So it's like they don't even have to say their name or who they are, and you don't know if this person really is the person that they say they are. Paige from Washington, you're gonna have to show your face. It's just blank. I gotta see your face. So, and it was weird. I kind of did to it as to what, how to even search. It's not really a user friendly site in my opinion, but I figured it out. I mean, it didn't take me too long to figure it out. Just not very user friendly. So, anyways, Paige from Washington, come back whenever you can fix your. Up, there you are. Let me see your face. Okay, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. I actually grew up going to a boarding school right outside, right in next to Post Falls, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
And the church that they had the celebration of life was my church. And so it kind of, you know, and winters are horrible out there.
Oh, I was out there when it was cold. The first day I was there, it was in the teens, and I hurt. My body, my fingers and toes literally hurt.
That's about how it feels here in Washington. But I think it's crazy that something like this could happen to these poor. They're kids.
Yeah, they are. And it's hard not to call them kids because we know that they're adults, and but in things like my mom always says to me, I will always be her baby. It doesn't matter how old I get.
Yeah, but I really hope that they do find whoever did this soon. I mean, it's one thing for these families having to wait to figure out what happened. I mean, it's appalling. But
that it is. I don't understand what could ever anger somebody to this point, but we see it all over the country. We just watched Leilani go to jail for murdering her 20-month-old child. This world is evil, and I don't understand why our kids feel that if they don't like something that somebody says or something somebody does, why they think that is a sign to go and do whatever they're going to do. I have not an earthly idea. You don't go stabbing people, shooting people, killing people, fighting with people because you don't like what they say. Walk away.
Yeah. My brother was actually murdered. That he was stabbed 9 times. Wow. At the light rail station. But and he didn't even know the person. It was a literal random stabbing. It just the things that happen out there keep me at home.
I know. Until I got into the true crime, like I was all over the place, literally all over the place. I was all over Florida. I was all over the United States. Anytime I could get out and go out, I would. And so over the last year and a half, I've become a recluse. Like when I'm home, I'm home. When I'm out working, I'm out working.
Yeah. But I just thought I'd come on here for a minute before I had to get ready to go.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm going to get to Miss Lee. So you have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Miss Lee, how are you doing, love?
I'm good. So I just have a question for you on your opinion on this. I keep seeing people say, oh, it had to be more than one person. But, and I'm not saying like this is necessarily the situation, speculation here, but, like bath salts, and it gave them like superhuman strength. Like, what if it was one person that was on some kind of crazy drug like that, and that's how they were able to kill 4 people? I
honestly believe it's one person, and I believe they didn't have to be on any drugs to kill them. I think the knife that they used would have disabled. I mean, they'd only have to pierce one person one time to disable them, and then finish it off.
Yeah, I guess with a knife that big, yeah. I just keep
I
seeing
mean, it's
people, they're like,
possible
oh,
that
it
it's
had to be
people
more than
who,
one person, but I think it was one. Like, I don't think it was any more than one. And I
I do
think it was
too.
somebody that they knew.
Yeah, and I think whoever it is acted alone because nobody can trust anybody with this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I
if it
mean,
was more than one person, somebody would have already snitched.
yeah. Yeah, so the pressure is this type of pressure's got to be hard on the psyche of anybody, especially somebody as immature as a 20-something.
Yeah. And when I was 20, I'd have been freaking the heck out if I'd done something crazy like that.
I'm sure that the
I'd have
person
been done turning myself in.
yeah, but I'm sure the person probably is, terrified right now, best of them get out of hand, and now they're sitting here, they're probably freaking out saying, oh my God, especially if they're driving a white Elantra, they're probably, oh my God, they're going to be closing in on me. I can't believe what I did. I'm going to go to jail for the rest of my life. I mean, this stuff has got to be going through this person's head.
I don't see how somebody doesn't crack. Like, you have to be a special type of crazy to not crack under that type of pressure.
Well, they're teaching these kids. I mean, kids are getting stronger and stronger. Look at Kylie Rodney. I mean, even the parents are like, there's honor in silence. Like, they're teaching their kids to keep their mouth shut. And in some of the most, I don't know. I think it's crazy. Like, you don't tell children that have a missing friend or 4 murdered friends to keep their mouth shut. That's the one thing you don't do. I think we lost Miss Lee. Miss Lee, I think we lost you. I think we lost you. So Jerry says 4chan is the type of place that allegedly people who are planning school go their manifestos. Ooh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I have to be honest with you. I just learned of this 4chan this morning on Dolly Vision. I did not hear about this prior to this morning. So I'm just now learning of what this is and how it can be utilized, because I'm thinking, 4chan, people are posting stuff like Reddit. I'm on Reddit just to see what people are posting about this case. If there's another board where people are posting stuff, I want to see it. I want to read it. I want to do my research on it. So, wow, Kush God, 2 sisters murdered. That's got to be horrific. I can't imagine what these families are going through. I really can't. I'm not going to imagine what they are going through. Oh, can you elaborate about the black glove found? Sorry. Chris McDonough was out at the property. I think he was out there maybe a week or a few days before Chronicles of Olivia and I showed up to the location. He was doing a walk around the property with his video camera. He doesn't go live. He just records. And one of the things that he saw in the snow, it was just barely sticking out. It was hard to see, but he did see it, and it was a glove, a black-looking glove that was out there. Now, could that have been a police glove? It could have been. Could it have been the assailant's glove? Yes, it could have been. It could have been a number of people's glove. But it appeared to be a singular glove in nature there on the inside of the police tape. So it wasn't something that Chris McDonough touched. It wasn't something that, he contaminated the crime scene or anything of that nature, because that was not the case. He didn't do that. Stay off 4chan unless you really know what you're doing. You will end up in trouble. That's what somebody says. Yeah, I don't really post anywhere. I just peruse the posts, on Reddit, and I'm going to be perusing the posts here on 4chan just to see what's up with it. But it's, again, not a very user-friendly interface, and I've got to work on it and figure out how to use it properly to get the information. I'm phone dropped the StreamYard call. I'm sorry. Oh, that's okay, Miss Lee. I figured something happened. I could still see your thumbnail. You just weren't talking, and I knew it must have dropped when I didn't see anything. So no worries. But it's always nice to hear your perspective and hear from you. I love hearing from the audience. View an image puts a copy in your hands, in your hard drive. View an image Viewing an image puts a copy on your hard drive. Well, you know, you got to be careful with anything that you go into. I mean, you could type an email address wrong and be into some place that you were not intending to be. It does happen. So, I mean, trust me, law enforcement's not going to throw people in jail for stumbling across something. They will throw them in jail if they, you know, open it, continue to open it, and continue to share it. And other stuff, I can see that being a problem, but accidentally running into something can be explained. But just be careful, I think, is the sentiments that we're getting across the board related to 4chan. So if you guys are doing your own research, please be careful, heed the warning. I don't know much about it, but there are people saying stay away, it get you in trouble. I like to heed warnings. I, again, just am in here to peruse and learn a little bit about the information related to this case. So with that being said, if anybody's not going to be coming up, then I'm just going to go ahead and close down for today. You guys have a wonderful week. It's Wednesday. I'll be back here tomorrow morning. I would have been alive a little earlier. I was glad to see Dolly. I was glad to be able to rest in a little bit longer than I wanted to. So I was pleasantly morning. I have to be honest with you, but I heard there's no proof that LE are watching those threads. And again, oh no, they're I know that they are because there's been some comment. It's a long story, but just I can tell you that law enforcement is, if they wouldn't be hearing, they wouldn't be on here talking about the misinformation of social media if they're not paying attention to social media. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm garnering from this. Okay, clearly they are watching. Okay, enforcement is watching because every single case we go to, some of the information, because they're looking for tips and leads as well in these chats, right? They had a quadruple homicide on their hands. So, and everybody still, we don't understand no blood. How, Donna, where is people saying there's no blood trail? And who's saying that there's no blood trail in which direction it should be going? Law enforcement has not released that information. That is purely 100% speculative in nature. I can't imagine there not being a blood trail. Can you guys imagine? Like, there's literally blood seeping down the wall of the home from Xana's room, and you don't believe that there was a blood trail anywhere? I think who peddling that information is peddling wrong information. I don't see how that could how that's possible. I don't see how that's possible. Hi, how are you, Anna?
Hi, Betty. What a pleasure to meet you. I've been a fan of yours for a long time. And one of the questions I have for you regards the delay in getting information and getting people arrested and stuff. And I guess it has to do with the Sixth Amendment and the promise of a speedy trial. And I saw a post or an attorney expert explaining that once someone is arrested, the clock starts ticking.
That is
and
correct.
that then the attorneys have something like 10 weeks, like 2.5 months, to put the case together. And things like in Kylie Rodney, where it can take 6 months for the tests to test results and DNA results and stuff to come in. You know, that's much longer than the 2.5 months that to do the speedy trial. So how much does that slow down the process of law enforcement being able to respond, you know, until all the evidence is in and all the tests are done?
They only need to have enough evidence in for probable cause for the arrest. So not all the evidence has to be in, but enough evidence pointing to the person has to be in. That's why I always talk about the low-hanging fruit. If somebody is a subject of a crime and has committed prior crimes, and the statutes of limitations have not come to end on the prior crimes, that's a low-hanging fruit you can throw somebody in jail for and keep them behind bars until you're ready to charge them with the more elevated crime.
Yeah.
So yes and no, there are ways that they can handle this speedy trial situation, but it's my understanding in 90%, 95%, actually probably closer to 98% of the cases, speedy trial is waived by the defendant because they want time to build a case. So in the grand scheme of things, yes, there are speedy trial laws, but so many defendants. Now, in a case where they didn't have any evidence and the defense knew that they didn't have any evidence, or they're building the case while they were in charge, they may push that speedy trial right on through as a strategy to defeat the case. So, yeah, you have to be prepared for trial when you're arresting these people.
Yeah, and it seems like a double-edged sword, almost, because you're in a hurry to see that the case solved. But once the person is arrested and that clock starts, you have to have the case together.
But here's an example of a low-hanging fruit. For example, let's say the assailant went into this house uninvited. So they can prove that Joe Schmo down the road was inside this house uninvited. Joe Schmo, they believe, may be responsible for this homicide. They don't have the evidence for the homicide, but they definitely have the evidence of him going into that home without permission, and therefore now have a charge of breaking and entering. And they can explain to the judge when they're trying to figure out for bail that not only did he break and enter, but the place that he broke and entered into had 4 people murdered inside that residence. And that would let the person know that this person may be a flight risk. So now the judge is starting to think appropriate bonding amounts for this charge within their discretion.
Okay.
And again, to do with the charge of murder. It's breaking and entering and throwing the person in jail for that. So I just think that they need to be looking at low-hanging fruit in addition to the case at hand.
Well, I love the work you do. I love you putting pressure on the legal system to move these cases along. I love having the feet on the ground. That adds so much insight into what the case is about. And it'd be nice if things could move along faster. And it's a shame that it takes so long to get the evidence sorted out, and all the testing in and stuff like that. I guess with the backlog. But, yeah, I really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. I'm reading in here that somebody said somebody died at the age of 40, and I'm like, who? I'm getting in the middle of a conversation, but I do appreciate your love and support. We do work hard, and a lot of this stuff, especially these trips, we do because it was crazy, because when we were out in the Gabby Petito case and we kept hearing what law enforcement was saying to the public, but we were standing right there and knew that the information wasn't as accurate as what they were painting for the audience that they were talking to. We had a different perspective. But it wasn't until the Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner case and the Gabby Petito, when she was in Wyoming, where she was actually where she died at. We went out there to Spread Creek, but everything that we heard online and on Google and from like Brian Enton and things like that, it did not do itself justice. Like, it was completely different than what any of us imagined it to be. And we started realizing how important it was for us to be out there, because it's not showing the perspective of me, a normal person.
And another aspect of that is these different cases you've gone to. It's amazing the huge difference between the different law enforcement departments and their different approaches and the levels of cooperation. I was not aware of that at all. And that seems to make such a huge difference in each of the cases.
It does. I mean, look at Hawkins County. Hawkins County law enforcement didn't like working with anybody. They got this, And then you've got something like, and then you got something like, Fruitland, Idaho, where the police chief is like, please, anybody that wants to help, come help. You've got a whole different slew of strategies that these law enforcement agencies work, and they consider if they get their guy, that's okay. But they don't realize the danger that they're putting the public in by having enough to build, having enough for an arrest and not arresting the person, like we saw with Quentin Simon and Leilani Simon. It was after the fact that the, no charge had plenty of evidence with or without the body. And it's like, then why was she out of jail for so long?
Yeah. Well, hopefully she'll be in there for a long time now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Moonlight Magic. Thank you for the super sticker. All right, Anna. Well, God bless you.
Be blessed, and have a blessed holiday season and an amazing 2023.
Absolutely. Couldn't said it better myself. Thank you so much, Anna.
You're welcome. Thanks. And it's Anna. Okay,
Anna.
take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Anna. Bye-bye. Always want to make sure we get the names correct because everybody says my name wrong. Andrea, it's not. It's Andra. Andra. Like Sandra without the S. Andra. That's how you pronounce my name. So we like pronunciation. Pronunciation is factual. Nothing worse than somebody that hates your guts. Andrea. My name's not Andrea, dumbass. If you're going to be disrespectful to me, please use my name as it is written. Right. Andra, get it. All right, guys. Well, with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. God bless each and every one of you. As information becomes available, I'm monitoring these back rooms and everything like that. That's where a lot of my information sparks from. Like I'll read something here and I'll be like, okay, well, let me go investigate that, right? And then when I start looking into it, it's like you kind of debunk this stuff yourself, but it is where I do, where I go to get my information. I mean, things break on Twitter, things break on Reddit, and now I've got 4chan, which is a real crazy site, but we'll master it. We'll master it. I promise we'll master it. Guys, make it a rock. We'll be here first thing in the morning and hope to see you guys really, really, really soon. So God bless you. And don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.